Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I just want to make this little video about this muscle boss. It's about the modification I did. This one. I want to tell you guys a story about it and how I did it. So, I actually had this, what's it called? I was thinking about this since 2021, a long time ago when I had my purple one. And yes, for new guys, I did have a purple one. I think you can see one of my old videos. But yes, I did have an old one. I did have a purple one. Sorry, it's just been a long time since I recorded a video. So my words are not as good as before, which they weren't. As always, they were very sloppy. But yeah, I had a purple one, and I was thinking about this idea. I remember one time I took out the flame out, and I was about to snap it off, like actually snap it, like the little line that connected in there. But it was just touching the plastic, the sharp things. I was like, am I sure that I can even do this? And I got scared, hot glued it back on. Until 2 years later, I was in my room. I had a bunch of incandescent lights that I bought from eBay. And I had my muscle boss apart. And I just got done fixing the gearbox. Or not really fixing, I just put new grease in there and just soldered on the motor. And in my mind, I'm like, maybe I can. So that's what I did. I used a drill and I put it on the plastic part on this guy. You know how it has like a line, a spring, and then a plastic part. Put my drill in there and gently took it out. And then the spring came out and I put it in a little plastic case. And I also put a little plastic thing in the plastic case. And I took out the turbo. And I looked into it, I flipped it over, and I was like, okay, 2 screws there and 2 screws there. That means I can actually pop these things out. That's what I did, and they actually worked. I popped them out, I popped those 2 out. Or maybe it was just 1 screw, I don't really remember. And then I was like, now I had to take these out. Now these guys were actually pretty tough because I think they super glued them back. They super glued them in. You can see that I hot glued them. See this little line right there. So it was pretty difficult, but I was able to take them out. So I did what I had to do when I had all of them out. I used a plier and the sharp things on the sides. I just cut out the little lines or little parts like that. Cut them all out, and I held one out, had a 3mm drill bit, and I just drilled it in the middle. Sometimes it would go off to the left or right. That's why some incandescent lights aren't centered. You can see right here.
Burn rubber, boys!
It's mostly this one kind of and this one more. So yeah, they're not centered, but they're still good enough. And I put the incandescent lights in there. First I put hot glue in there, I think. And then I put the incandescent lights in there. And I put them all in there. And I just set that. And I put them aside so they can cool down and harden. And then I looked at the turbo lines right here, or the exhaust pipes. And I was like, maybe I can drill it. And then drill a hole down here so the lights, the wires could go inside there into the board, and I can connect them with the board like that. So that's what I did. I drilled them. I drilled these holes like right here. Yeah, right here. Drilled a hole right here. Well, first I actually drilled First I drilled the hole down here, and then I drilled the hole this way. Did every single one of them, and it worked. It all worked out pretty good. And then I just slowly and carefully put the wires in there and I put the flames back on there. But when they were right here, the flames like just hanging out there, I put hot glue and I quickly shut it. Same thing here, hot glue, quickly shut it, and every single one of them. It worked out great. And then came the other part. How do I slide down the wires? Because you know how this thing hops when it goes forward like that? Yeah. I was wondering, like, how can I do that? How can I still make it hop while having the lights? At first, I was like, maybe I can just, like, drill a hole into this plastic part. Just instantly put a hole like that. I did that and it didn't really work out. Pull the wires away. And then I was like, maybe instead of there, I can put them right there. You can see the light. You can see the wire. It's like right here. And it goes down that little hole I drilled. So that's what I did. Drill a hole right there. And you can't see it, but right in there, I drilled a hole. I think I drilled 2. Like really next to each other. And I put them in there. Put the wires in there. And I didn't cut them or anything. I didn't make them short. They're still the exact same size that I put them in. I just taped the walls. Okay, let's go back. So once I put the lights in there, I immediately unscrewed this guy because this guy is like the main guy that powers everything. This guy's the button chip, but underneath this engine is a board. And this board actually powers everything here. So what I did was I taped 4 wires together, soldered them together, and placed them to the positive board terminal. It was pretty hard to find, but I was able to find it. And I soldered it right there. I didn't solder it to the battery terminal because I had a feeling that it would be pretty difficult to open up because it would be hanging out there. And the wire's gonna be everywhere, you know? So I just soldered it and then put tape right here. So it isn't in the way. Same thing right here. I soldered 4 together and held them with tape. And then soldered it with the positive motor terminal. You know, the one that goes forward. Yeah. And they all worked. Like, I was actually very surprised and I was happy that they all worked out great. And once it was all good, I just taped them together in these walls, right here and right here, so they're not like in the way. And let me tell you, man, I was so happy. I was so happy when I got this guy working perfectly. Because in my mind, I was like, back in 2021, I was like, why didn't they just put incandescent lights in there? You know, because it literally could look like it could work. Maybe they did have the idea before, but they were like, it's gonna cost us a lot of money, so let's not do it on this one. Let's one day, because I'm sorry, my words are very sloppy, but I bet they had the idea a long time ago of putting these lights in here, but they probably went like, we already did it before with the turbo rig. This time we won't do it. And they didn't do it. Maybe they had the idea. I think they would think that. But yeah, that's what I hope that all made sense. And I bet you might have this question. Am I ever going to do this modification again? To like another muscle boss? Yes. I would 100% do it again. But this time I would try to actually do it like correctly and professionally. like try to put it in the middle, like try to put the lights in the middle instead of like this way or that way, and then do everything first try because I know how to do it because I actually did it. First try everything, just take them out, unscrew down there, pull out like that, unscrew those screws, take these out, drill a hole this way, first that one, this, that one, lights in the thing, blah, 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 and you know what I mean. And yeah, I would 100% do this again. It was difficult, like actually doing it because I was afraid I might tear up something in here. But I'm so happy that it all turned out great. That's all I wanted to say, you know. I think it turned out really well. Also, let me tell you something. I actually didn't know this, but did you know, if you ever open up your Gizmo'Z, the gearbox or the wheel should be like this. You might be wondering, what are you trying to show us? Well, if you put your Gizmo'Z back, like if you like replace the gear in here and buy a new one, don't glue the gear here. Let me do this. Let me tell you guys something. If you guys ever have a cracked gear and you immediately think like, I'm just gonna glue it, please don't glue it at all. I highly recommend counting how many teeth there are and buying a new fresh 30-pack on Amazon. Because if you glue the exact same gear, like the exact same cracked gear, first of all, it's gonna make a weird clicking sound every time it's gonna run. So it's gonna be annoying. And also, it's gonna slip again. Maybe. So I highly don't recommend gluing the gear if it's cracked or slipped. Buy a new one and you should be good for like the next 10 years. But I just want to say that. But if you put your Gizmo'Z gearbox back together and you realize that one wheel is getting too close to this part right here, like it can move up and down freely like that, that means you actually put the gearbox wrong. How I know this? Well, a couple days ago, which was like 2 days ago, I had this guy opened up because I was pretty tired of this guy always touching the plastic part because it would always, every time it would go forward, it would always not really go as supposed to. It would just go slow because it would be dragging this part right here. And also when it would hop, sometimes it would just get stuck right there. So I was like, what is wrong with it? And I tried for like 13 minutes. Just putting it back together multiple times to see what was wrong. And I finally knew what was wrong. I wasn't snapping it back together correctly. Like at all. I had it in a position where it was like, pretend this is the plastic part. You know, this part right here. Pretend this is the plastic part right here. Like where it connects the screws on the gearbox. And this is the thing, like that holds the gearbox together, like down. I was keeping it like this. Pretend this is the screw or the screw holder, something like that. I had it in this position like that, always, even though it's supposed to be like that, like centered. It was actually pretty difficult to do. It was actually pretty difficult to put it in there because sometimes they just wouldn't want to be in there in that position. So, yeah. But then several attempts and I was able to just snap it on without breaking anything. And, yeah, it's been And there ever since. So, if you have this wheel, like, touching that part, like, it can move up and down like that, then you probably didn't put the gearbox back together correctly. Well, yeah, obviously. But if it doesn't touch it and you just hear a clicking sound like this, and right here too, then you successfully, first try, probably, maybe, put the gearbox back together correctly. I just want to say that all. Oh, one more thing. You might be wondering, why this screw isn't like the right screw. You might see in my other rotorburst / Toy Safe vehicles that like it won't have the correct screw, like loosen screw that it originally had. That's because the old screw, you know how old rotorburst vehicles like these, they sometimes actually, like, the screw bolts don't come out at all. They just, when you turn them, they just stay there. Yeah, it was happening to this guy too. And I just got tired. I just took it out. It was actually pretty easy. Inside of this guy, there's like something that holds the screw so it doesn't fall out. I just snapped it off with pliers. I just bended it and did that, and the thing just fell out. I searched in my drawer and I found this screw right here. At first, I put it in there and it was actually really difficult to take it out because it just went really slowly. But then I dipped the screw, only this part right here, in grease. And then I took it out with the screw, a magnetic screw, like that. And then I slowly put it in there. And I did that twice like that, and it's now very, very freely. Like, it moves really better. I don't even have to add force to it. It just moves great. Oh, you know what I mean. I can't hold it like that, obviously. But, yeah, that's all I just wanted to say, you know. Because, that's all I wanted to tell you guys about this Muscle Boss. And, yes, any questions? Was it hard to put it back together? Was all this hard? Putting the lights in there? Extremely hard. I was scared if I might mess up something in this guy. Second question. Was it hard to put the gearbox motor back together? Yes. Yes. Obviously, my first time actually putting in there correctly. And second of all, should I really buy a new, or third, should I really buy a new gear for the motor shaft if it ever splits? 100% yes. Don't listen to anyone that says to glue it. That's honestly the worst thing you can do, because it literally could slip anytime and you won't know that. Or sometimes it won't. Sometimes it won't split at all. But it's always a good choice just to buy a new gear, you know, so you can have the full power. And also you won't hear the annoying clicking noise. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I want to say. See ya. And might be wondering, does it work when it does this?
Rev 'em up, guys.
No. I've only put the lights to only work when it's going forward, not when it's going backwards. But yeah, that's pretty much it. See you.